subscribe now and press the bell icon. Never miss an update.
Hello, in this video we shall discuss the summary of A Midsummer Night's Dream written by William Shakespeare. Let us look at its characters first. We have Theseus, who is the Duke of Athens. We have Hippolyta, Queen of Amazons. We have Lysander. We have Demetrius. Both are young courtiers in love with Hermia. We have Hermia in love with Lysander, Helena in love with Demetrius, Aegeus, Hermia's father, Philostrate, Theseus' master of the revellers, Oberon, king of the fairies, Titania, queen of the fairies. Summary of Act 1st, Scene 1st. In this opening scene, Theseus looks very impatient about his marriage with Hippolyta. Their marriage will take place after 4 days in the month of May. 4 days seem to him to be a very long time. Hippolyta tries to console him by saying that these 4 days will pass quickly. Suddenly, Aegeus enters with a complaint against his daughter Hermia. Aegeus had chosen Demetrius as a husband for Hermia, but Hermia is in love with Lysander. According to the Athenian law, Aegeus has complete authority over his daughter and can force his daughter to marry anybody according to his own choice. And if the daughter goes against his father's wish, the Duke can impose the penalty of death upon her. But if she wants to escape from death, she has to turn a nun. Theseus then asks Hermia why she doesn't carry out the wishes of her father. Hermia replies the Duke that she wants her father to look at Lysander with her eyes and to accept Lysander as his son-in-law. As Aegeus doesn't agree, Theseus insists Hermia to marry Demetrius, but Hermia's decision is firm to marry Lysander. Theseus then gives Hermia 4 days to reconsider her position. Demetrius now speaks to Lysander and urges him to give up his claim to Hermia. Lysander replies that Hermia is in love with him, not with Demetrius, and cannot give up his claim to marry Hermia. Lysander has a plan and tells Hermia that he has a widow aunt who lives about 7 leagues away from Athens at a place where the Athenian law does not apply. Lysander now suggests Hermia to run away with him from Athens to that place where they can get easily married without the Athenian law standing in their way. Hermia readily agrees and both decide to meet on the following night in the wood at the outskirts of Athens. Helena feels very depressed because of Demetrius, who is not now paying any attention to her. Hermia then consoles Helena by saying that both of them will run away from Athens. Helena then reveals their plan to Demetrius so that she may win Demetrius' heart once again. Summary of Act 1st, Scene 2nd. In second scene, a group of actors have gathered to stage a play on the occasion of the marriage of the Duke Theseus. These men are all artisans. Peter Canis is a carpenter, Nick Bottom is a weaver, Francis Flute is a bellows mender, Snug is a joiner, and Robin Stovelling is a tailor. They hold dramatic performances for fun and to earn money. They decide to gather in the woods to rehearse the play. The play they are going to perform is about Pyramus and Thisbe. Pyramus is a lover who in the story kills himself for the sake of his beloved Thisbe. Summary of Act 2nd, Scene 1st. The scene now shifts to the wood. It is the same place and night on which Lysander and Hermia are to meet each other. In this scene, we see 2 fairies. One of the 2 fairies is named as Puck, who informs other fairy that Titania and Oberon are arriving in the wood. Puck suggests that Titania should not come within Oberon's sight because Oberon is deeply annoyed with his wife Titania. He explains that Titania has refused to hand over the handsome boy to Oberon, who had been stolen from an Indian king. This boy has now become a bone of contention between Oberon and Titania. Oberon now appears from one side of the wood and Titania appears from the other side. Titania then tells her attendant fairies that she wants to avoid the company of Oberon. Oberon then directly asks Titania the reason of avoiding her husband and lord. Titania replies that he has deceived her by having love affairs with mortal women. Oberon also accused Titania of having had a love affair with Theseus. Titania says that Oberon's allegations against her are absolutely false. Titania then reminds him the consequences of their quarrel. It is because of their quarrel that the seasons no longer occur in their proper order. The spring gets mixed up with autumn and winter gets mixed up with summer. Oberon then replies to hand over that boy and put an end to this quarrel. But Titania says that she is not prepared to do that under any circumstances. Oberon now decides to punish Titania and tells Puck to bring him the flower of that certain plant which has a miraculous power. The juice of that flower, when applied to the eyelids of a sleeping man or woman, has the power to make the man or woman fall madly in love with the creature who would first meet their eyes when they wake up. Oberon plans to apply the juice of that flower to Titania's eyelids while sleeping so that she should fall in love with the first creature who she happens to see when she wakes up. Meanwhile, Demetrius appears with Helena chasing him. Demetrius tells Helena not to follow him as he doesn't love her. Helena pleads Demetrius not to be so cruel towards her. Having witnessed the scene, Oberon decides to bring about a change in the heart of Demetrius so that Demetrius would respond to the love of Helena. Suddenly, Puck returns with the flower which was ordered by Oberon. Oberon then gets ready to apply the juice to the eyelids of sleeping Titania. But before doing so, Oberon gives a little of the juice to Puck and tells him to apply this juice to the eyelids of a sleeping man who is wearing Athenian clothes. By Athenian clothes, Oberon means the juice should be applied to the eyelids of Demetrius, so that when he wakes up, he will fall in love with Helena. Summary of Act 2, Scene 2. In this scene, Oberon applies the juice of that flower to the eyelids of sleeping Titania and departs from the spot. Now Hermia has met Lysander in the wood according to her promise. Both are tired and decide to sleep in the forest till dawn when they can resume their journey. As they sleep, Puck appears and applies juice to the eyelids of Lysander because Lysander is also from Athens and is wearing Athenian clothes. Meanwhile, Helena, while chasing Demetrius, catches the sight of Lysander. She wonders whether Lysander is asleep or dead. In order to make sure, Helena wakes up Lysander. As Lysander opens his eyes and sees Helena before him, he falls in love with her. Lysander now tells Helena that he loves her deeply. But Helena, who knows that Lysander is in love with Hermia, thinks that Lysander is only making fun of her. Helena leaves the spot without noticing that Hermia is also sleeping there. A little later, Hermia also wakes up with a start as she has seen a dreadful dream. In her dream, she saw a serpent crawling upon her breast and eating into her heart. In her dream, she also saw Lysander smiling at the serpent's action. At the same time, she finds herself quite alone in the forest. Summary of Act 3, Scene 1. In this scene, all Orsons arrive in the wood to hold the rehearsal of the play. At first, they decide to have a prologue to the play, which will create terror in the hearts of the ladies present in the audience. As the rehearsal begins, Puck also arrives there. After speaking some lines, Nick Bottom goes behind a bush to wait for his cue. Puck mischievously places an ass's head upon the shoulders of Nick Bottom. On hearing his cue, Nick Bottom returns to make his next speech. When other actors see Bottom, they feel scared and run away from the sight. Suddenly, Bottom's song awakens Titania. As Titania sees Bottom, she falls in love with him at the very sight. It is because of the juice that was applied on her eyelids by her husband Oberon. Summary of Act 3rd, Scene 2nd. In this scene, Oberon is very impatient to know the consequences of his action in having applied the juice on the eyelids of his wife. Puck then arrives and narrates Oberon how he put an ass head on the shoulders of an actor and how Titania fell in love with an ass. The next moment, Demetrius and Hermia appear on the scene. Puck then tells Oberon that he had also applied the juice to the eyelids of a man who was wearing Athenian clothes. Oberon points to Demetrius and says that this was the man to whose eyelids the juice was to be applied. Puck says that this was not the man to whose eyelids he had applied the juice. Oberon tells Puck that he had applied the juice to the eyelids of a wrong man. Oberon then orders Puck to search for Helena and bring her where Demetrius lies asleep. Puck leaves and Oberon pours the juice on the eyelids of Demetrius. Meanwhile, Lysander is still pleading his love to Helena. Lysander and Helena now arrive at the spot where Demetrius is sleeping. As Demetrius wakes up, he sees Helena and falls in love with her. Now Demetrius too expresses his love for Helena. Demetrius describes Helena as a goddess and a nymph. Helena thinks that Demetrius too makes fun of her. Lysander now tells Demetrius that he is willing to surrender Hermia to him. Demetrius replies that Lysander can keep his Hermia while he only loves Helena. Both Helena and Hermia are in a state of bewilderment. They start accusing each other. Lysander and Demetrius are ready to fight each other. But Oberon does not want so and orders Puck to darken the night with clouds and with thick fog so that they cannot see each other. Both Lysander and Demetrius are calling out to each other but cannot find each other in the thick fog. Meanwhile, all these mortals feel exhausted and lie down to sleep. Puck now applies the antidote to Lysander's eyelids, which was given to him by Oberon. The antidote will neutralize the effect of the juice and Lysander will love Hermia again. Summary of Act 4, Scene 1st. In this scene, Nick Bottom, who had been turned into an ass, feels the desire of some hay and dry oats. He also feels an itching on his body and tells the fairies to scratch him to soothe his itching. Titania takes Bottom in her embrace and both fall asleep. Oberon then applies antidote to the eyelids of Titania because she was now ready to hand over the Indian boy to Oberon. When Titania wakes up, she tells Oberon that she had a strange dream in which she was madly in love with an ass. Oberon points to the sleeping Bottom and tells her that this is the ass with whom she had been in love. Oberon then directs Puck to remove the ass's head from the shoulders of Nick Bottom. Meanwhile, Theseus and Hippolyta appear in the wood for a stag hunt. Suddenly, the sleeping lovers and Nick Bottom catch the eyes of Theseus. Theseus asks who these sleepers might be. Aegeus goes close to the sleepers and tells Theseus that the sleepers are Hermia, Lysander, Demetrius, and Helena. When the lovers open their eyes, Theseus greets them. When Lysander wakes up, he remembers he has come to marry Hermia. Aegeus appeals Theseus to take action against Lysander, who has tried to steal his daughter. Demetrius then explains that he no longer loves Hermia and that he is now again in love with Helena. Theseus then tells Aegeus that he can't compel Hermia to marry Demetrius. Suddenly, Bottom wakes up and considers it a dream when he was turned into an ass. He thinks that his dream was like a ballad, which should be titled as Bottom's Dream. Summary of Act 4, Scene 2nd. In this scene, all the artisans who had gone to the wood for the rehearsal of the play are now back in Athens except Nick Bottom. They have again assembled at the house of Coenis. They are wondering what had happened to Nick Bottom. They worry about his role in the play because there is no other man in Athens who can act the role of Pyramus. Meanwhile, Nick Bottom arrives safe and sound. All the players are happy to see him and start their preparations for the play. Summary of Act 5, Scene 1st. In this scene, Theseus and Hippolyta have already got married with the marriage of the two couples. The lovers narrate their strange experiences to Theseus and Hippolyta. Though Hippolyta says that the experience gone through by the lovers are strange indeed, but Theseus doesn't believe the account given by the lovers. Theseus then asks Philostrate, his master of the revellers, what entertainment he has got ready for them all. Philostrate then hands over a paper to Theseus on which a number of items of entertainment are written, and Theseus has to choose one. Theseus chooses the play Pyramus and Thisbe. Hippolyta says that the actors are ordinary fellows and might not be able to give a satisfactory performance. Theseus replies that these actors will make a most sincere effort to perform their roles well. Peter Keynes then appears on the stage and reads out the prologue to the play in nervousness. Then all the actors appear on the stage one by one and perform their roles. After the play ends, we see different sarcastic commenters from audience on the performance of the play. Oberon then appears with Titania and blesses all the newly married couples. Puck then addresses the audience, and his speech may be regarded as an epilogue to the play A Midsummer Night's Dream. He asks for forgiveness in case they are feeling offended with the performance of the play A Midsummer Night's Dream.